Fisher's punting. McQuire Graybell gets a hand on it, blocks his second kick of the game. It turns into another Westville TD. Boy, the Rocks are rolling. 45-6 is the final.
Well, the fact that sports director Anthony Calhoun and our partners at Wish TV have been able to share highlights of Central Indiana high school football games during the pandemic is something that many people doubted would happen just 6 months ago. Indeed, not only football, but all fall Indiana high school sports have been able to resume play, and they are now concluding in the midst or moving toward determining championships. Bill Benner has more in this week's Inside Indiana Sports. Bill.
Gary, thank you. It did appear somewhat improbable that high school sports could conduct regular season and championship competitions, but even with the occasional COVID-related postponements and schedule adjustments, the seasons have unfolded remarkably well. And joining us today to discuss is IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. And Commissioner, thanks for being with us on the show.
Oh, Bill, thank you so much for the invite, and it's always my pleasure to join you guys and talk about high school athletics across our state.
Well, and again, the fact that we're talking about high school athletics, very, very encouraging. And again, as I mentioned, there have been postponements, some occasional issues, but remarkably, all the seasons and the various sports have unfolded pretty well.
You know, they have, and you know, we could have anticipated what that was going to look like in the summer. I think this is what we thought it was going to be. This is what we hoped it was going to be. And it's certainly been that way. We've had about 95% of our teams have played week in and week out. And the reality of it is we've had more teams available to play. They just weren't able to make a matchup work, whether it be geographically or school size or whatever that is. But by far and away, the majority of our teams in the state have played and continue to play. We're in the tournament.
And Paul, again, you really have to give credit to the local school corporations and the communities who have done everything as proactively as they can to get through this. Absolutely. We try to celebrate our school people on a daily basis here. There's no question that the real work being done is at the school level. They have to do the contact tracing. They've got to make sure the facilities are clean. They've got to make sure the kids are in their pods, and so they can trace afterwards. And they got to make sure they're masked up, and they take temps and ask the questions, and they do all the work. And it's an ever-changing environment for them. It's not one of those things that you figure out what you're going to do and you keep doing that till the end of the year. They have to constantly adjust based upon what's going on in their communities. And we're seeing that this week with everything on the rise a little bit here in the state of Indiana, and our schools are stepping up, adjusting their protocols so they can operate safer than they ever have before. And of course, football is so important to communities and the local high schools because it brings in revenue, not the level of revenue that they've experienced in the past, certainly, but and now we're getting ready to move toward the playoffs, and so that's also very encouraging.
It is. You know, we're playing week 9 coming up this Friday night, and once we get through this week, then we'll have all of our fall sports. All of our fall court teams in tournament season, and we're happy to be there. And you know, certainly revenue is something that we have to address. We have to have money to pay officials and buy uniforms and do things for kids. But the best thing about this is the time-honored tradition of showing up on a Friday night or in your soccer uniform and having your school name across your chest, and you be able to wear that and celebrate that and support that. That's such a small amount of time in your life that you get the opportunity to do that. And I did that when I was a high school student, and a lot of us did. And those are memories that you cannot recreate. And you have to do everything we can so kids get that opportunity to develop that memory that'll take them through the rest of their life. And we're very happy that kids can get that.
And Paul, just to make sure, Lucas Oil Stadium will still hopefully be the venue for the upcoming championship weekend over Thanksgiving, correct?
It is, and Assistant Commissioner Falcons has been working with Lucas Oil, and he's had a couple meetings already, and we'll continue to meet up until tournament time because, again, it's a fluid situation. We'll continue to adjust. We have an opportunity to learn a lot of things from the Colts and what they're doing there, and we're going to use some things learned and when they operate games, and we'll apply that to the state championship come Thanksgiving weekend.
And Commissioner, I know this weekend you're also, again, the calendar doesn't stop. You will be looking forward to putting out some guidelines for the upcoming winter sports season, including basketball, of course.
Yeah, so we've had a great partnership with the state health department. And as a matter of fact, I got off a phone call with Dr. Box and her team earlier this morning. They're looking at some winter guidance that the staff put together. Once we get once they get a chance to review that, we'll be pushing that out to schools. And what we're pushing out now is really sports specific and how you can operate a wrestling program and season safely, or a basketball game. And also gymnastics and swimming are included in the information that we're going to be pushing out. Hopefully it hits our schools tomorrow.
Well, Paul, we certainly appreciate you coming on the show. High school sports, so important, one of the ties that binds us all together. And so we wish you the best moving forward, and thanks for being with us. Good luck going forward.
Thank you very much. And Bill, thank you for doing what you do to promote high school athletics across our state.
I appreciate it. Paul Neidig, the Commissioner of the IHSAA. Gary, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you.